Let's call this guy Marco. And Marco's going through a lot. He's very successful, he just inherited his family's fabric business, but he's dealing with a lot of anxiety and depression. And one day he goes to see a psychiatrist. This guy, who we'll call Doc. And Doc is well known, he's like the best in the business. He allegedly treats Gwyneth Paltrow and Courtney Love. So Marco goes to Doc and he starts seeing him on the regular. And Doc's sessions are a little different than other psychiatrists. He takes his patients on walks where he has them take him to a restaurant during their sessions. It gets very personal. But his methods seem to work for Marco, because over time he starts to feel a little better, and he really starts to trust Doc, like with his life. In fact, Marco trusts Doc so much, he starts to run all his business decisions by him, and Doc will advise him on this stuff. Now, Marco also has a sister, who we'll just call Sister, and Sister finds out that Doc's been advising Marco on the family fabric business, and she doesn't like it one bit, and tension starts to form between her and Marco. So, of course, Marco talks to Doc about all this tension he has with his sister, because he talks to Doc about everything. And ultimately, Doc advises Marco to cut ties with his sister completely. In fact, Doc pushes Marco to abandon a lot of his personal and romantic relationships, which Marco does, because Marco completely trusts Doc, because Doc has never steered Marco wrong. Until, over time, Doc starts asking Marco for things. Nothing too life-changing, like, hey, can I use your house to host a party for my friends? And Marco trusts Doc, so he's like, sure, buddy. But then, over the course of years and years, Doc starts asking for bigger and bigger things. And Marco trusts Doc, so he would say yes. And at some point, Doc comes asking Marco if he can live in a vacation house that Marco owns. Because Marco has this huge house in the Hamptons, and Marco's like, sure, you can live there. So Doc and his wife move in, and they start living in Marco's vacation home. And it keeps going, because Doc keeps asking for more and more.